Well, developing right now, a federal judge here in Atlanta is weighing whether to reinstate legal status to more than 100 students who had their visas revoked.
That's right. This is part of the Trump administration's efforts to crack down on immigration, focusing on those with past run-ins with the law. So the judge, he heard both sides of the case in federal court in downtown Atlanta today. That is where we find 11 Alive's Joe Ripley. So, Joe, what is this judge considering tonight?
Well, Faith, this judge says pretty quickly she will decide whether the students named in this lawsuit will be able to have their legal status reinstated. By this time next week, we could know whether the government was lawful in its actions to terminate their visa status.
Somebody has to stand up. If you don't stand up, we're all going to fall down.
Immigration attorney Charles Cook is trying to restore visa status for 133 students. About a fifth of those students attend colleges in Georgia. He's suing the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement over the termination of these students' visas.
Allow them to resume working, allow them to resume their lives, allow them to graduate, allow them to have a chance to live the same dream that all of us have.
ICE canceled thousands of student visas nationwide after a federal student database called SEVIS flagged their records. Cook claims ICE wrongfully canceled the visas over minor offenses like traffic tickets.
We require that ICE follow the law, just as ICE requires that our clients follow the law. And we will do everything possible to hold them accountable to the standards that they themselves developed.
Now, Cook is calling on a federal judge to immediately reinstate the student status before their visas were revoked and declare the government's actions unlawful. He says this case will have national implications.
You're about to tell the federal government they screwed up and they need to fix it. And she understands that I think she understands in this type of environment that we're in, that's not necessarily a popular thing for a judge to be doing.
The U.S. attorney arguing the case in district court would not comment on camera, but Robert David Powell says the students need to go through the proper channels to appeal their visa revocations. He's asking for the IDs of all the students involved in the lawsuit so the process can move forward. U.S. District Judge Victoria Calvert says she is likely to issue her ruling on temporary reinstatement by Saturday at midnight. And then I mentioned next week she's set to issue a ruling regarding permanent restoration of the students' visa status. We're live in front of the federal courthouse in downtown Atlanta. Joe Ripley, 11 Alive News.